Let's now bring you our top stories on the brief this morning. We begin with the #1 citizen, that's President Bola Tinubu, who has now returned to the nation's capital, Abuja, from Lagos here, where he spent the Eid al-Fitr, marking the end of Ramadan. The president, who arrived at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport around 4 p.m., was received on arrival by the Minister of the FCT, Mr. Nyesom Wike, the Chief of Staff, Mr. Femi Gbajabiamila, APC National Chairman Abdullahi Ganduje, and other top government officials. The president had spent just about 1 week in Lagos celebrating the Eid before returning back to work. Well, we'll stay with the president, of course, to see what comes out of his office today. But in another case here in Lagos, after over 2 years of a coroner's inquest into the cause of death of Sylvester Oromoni Jr., who was a student of Dowen College, Lagos, the coroner, Magistrate Mikhail Kadiri, inquiring, has returned a verdict that the boy died a natural death. In the presentation that lasted over 6 hours, the coroner also held that the death was avoidable as the negligence of the parents and the medical team contributed to it. Magistrate Kadiri absolved some students of Dowen College named in the incident, as it concluded that they played no part in the death of Sylvester and should not have been involved in the matter. The father of a late student disagrees with the verdict, which he says does not represent the true position of evidence taken.
But I must tell you, as a father, the verdict does not represent the true proceedings of the courts. I came to court every day. I don't miss any day. I might come late, but I have my younger ones and my lawyers here, including Femi Falana. Does not represent the true position of the evidence taken.
Over 900 pages of record of proceedings, and he has produced the truth in line with logic, in line with science. It's unfortunate that innocent young boys almost had their lives irreversibly destroyed because of lies. Lies that have been shown for what they are today.
Meanwhile, human rights lawyer Mr. Femi Falana has faulted the coroner's judgment on Sylvester Oromoni Jr., which exonerated Dowen College and blamed his death on the negligence of the family doctor. In a statement, Mr. Falana notes that it is curious that the coroner ignored the evidence of a government pathologist that the black substance found in Sylvester's stomach was not subjected to toxicological examination. He claimed that the allegation was that the student was forced to drink a poisonous substance. And on to security now. The Oyo State Police Command has paraded 21 suspects in connection with the invasion of Oyo Government Secretariat on Saturday, April the 13th. The invaders, who claim to be members of the Yoruba Nation agitation group, were paraded alongside seized exhibits like guns, ammunition, plaques with the Yoruba Nation insignia, cutlasses, walkie-talkies, and other communication gadgets. The Oyo State Police Commissioner, Adebola Hamza, told journalists while addressing them that the suspects will be charged with treasonable felony and terrorism.
Many of them ran into the bushes and we pursued them, and that's where we were able to arrest few others from the 7 we initially had. There was an injury to a government functionary, that is a member of the Amatekun. He was shot and about 9 pellets were removed from his leg. I know of that injury to us, but I also know of injury to them, few of them who resisted arrest and fired at our people. Whether anybody died apart from the one we arrested, I cannot say. But our combing of the bush, we did not see any corpse that shows anything like that.
Now, hundreds of traders are counting their losses in a fire outbreak that gutted the market in Yola town. The fire, whose cause, by the way, is yet to be ascertained, destroyed about 90% of the shops housing various commodities.
Our people people here have not, they did not have another strength to build another shop here. You can see after Salah, everybody have go to buy another goods to come and sell for the peoples. If you can see, everything have gone. Nobody can tell you that he removed a single piece of something that he removed.
Deputy Governor was at the scene of that fire to sympathize with victims, and there was a promise that the state government will support them. I'll take a listen.
Commiserate with our brothers and sisters who have been affected in this fire inferno. Our word as a government is that government will look into whatever has transpired. For now, we cannot tell how many shops have been affected. We cannot also tell the source of the fire. But government will ensure that that is discreetly looked into to find out what happened, why it happened, and how many people are affected, and government will see what it can do to bring succor to our people, because this government is a government that has a feeling of its people at heart. It's a government that believes in building its people. It's a government that believes in ensuring that the people are carried along. So this government will definitely do something about it.
Well, let's move on now to politics. There's been a back and forth over a reported suspension of the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Mr. Abdullahi Ganduje. Now, it began with a proclamation by said ward executive in Dawakin Tofa, led by Haruna Gwanjo, that the former governor has to clear his name of corruption allegations. But in swift reaction, Ward Executive Committee members and Dawakin Tofa Local Government Executive Committee members have denounced the purported suspension. Now, in a media address, the Ganduje Ward Chairman, Ahmed Koko, claimed that the other group was sponsored by the NNPP state government, and from the record of the party at the ward, local government and state, they're not card-carrying members of the APC. He also denounced the committee's intent to pursue, announce their intent to pursue legal action against the individuals involved. Now, that's on the one hand in the APC. Let's head over to the opposition People's Democratic Party now. Ahead of a National Executive Council meeting of the PDP, some concerned stakeholders of the party from the North Central are appealing to the National Working Committee of the party to allow the national chairmanship position to remain in Benue State, where the suspended national chairman of the party, Mr. Yola, comes from. Addressing a news conference in Abuja, former federal lawmaker Senator Okajev explained that the constitution of the party allows that the chairman or any national officer who is suspended be replaced with another member from the same zone.
It is on record and with authority that consultations are in top gear to find a replacement of Dr. Yola from the North Central Zone. As concerned North Central PDP stakeholders, we have followed with diligence the various consultations with the founding fathers of the PDP and other key stakeholders of the party across the country. This group of North Central stakeholders has unanimously agreed to appeal for the retention of the seat of the North Central chairman of our great party, the PDP in the North Central Zone. We therefore appeal to the leaders of our great party saddled with the responsibility of choosing a replacement for Senator Yola to consider this appeal. In the spirit of fairness, justice, and equity, the North Central Zone shall be given the opportunity to complete her tenure as chairman of the party. The emergence of a North Central candidate will adequately mobilize the entire party to form a formidable opposition that will salvage this nation from the unbelievable hardship faced by Nigerians and return our great party to its winning ways.
Let's talk oil and gas now. The Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, the NPRC, says that the nation's oil and gas reserves as of January the 1st stood at 37.5 billion barrels, and that's from 37 billion barrels recorded as of May 2022. During a press conference in the nation's capital, the chief executive of the commission, Engineer Benga Komolafe, announced the creation of strong policies aimed at improving and optimizing oil and gas operations in the country.
Let me therefore reiterate that the Commission is committed to improving the country's oil and gas reserves, as well as the successful completion of all strategic initiatives that would enhance the sector's productivity, including the Nigerian Gas Flare Commercialization Plan. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, an overview of the nation's oil, condensate, associated gas, and non-associated gas reserves as of January 1st, 2024 as follows. First, crude oil and condensate reserves stand at 31.56 billion barrels and 5.94 billion barrels respectively, amounting to a total of 37.50 billion barrels as the total national reserves of crude and condensate. The associated gas and non-associated gas reserves stand at 102.59 TCF, trillion cubic feet, and 106.67 TCF respectively, resulting in total gas reserves of 209.265 TCF.
Well, more economy and more figures. Nigeria's headline inflation has maintained its upward trajectory, but this time soaring by 1.50% to 32.20%, and that's up from 31.7% recorded in February. The latest figure, which rose far above economists' forecast, is one of the highest in the country's history as the nation continues to grapple with high cost of food, transportation, energy, and services. According to the National Bureau of Statistics, the food inflation, which is one of the major contributors to the headline figure, was higher at 40%. Core inflation climbed to 25% within the month in review. While at the same time, urban inflation increased to 35%, while rural inflation jumped 31.45% in March. And outside the country, and so it begins. Former United States President Donald Trump is facing his first criminal trial at a New York court over hush money allegedly paid to adult film actress Stormy Daniels in the lead-up to his election win in 2016. On the first day, dozens of potential jurors were excused after saying they cannot be impartial, and jury selection is expected to continue for at least the rest of the week. In March last year, prosecutors filed an indictment that made Trump the first former president of the U.S. to face a criminal trial. They allege that the payments falsely recorded as legal expenses were used to bury allegations that might have hurt him during the 2016 presidential campaign. Well, he faces 34 counts of fraud, but denies any legal wrongdoing. Now, the maximum penalty, if he's found guilty, is 4 years behind bars, but then experts say that a much less severe penalty will be more likely. And to sports, nearly 100 days before the 2024 Paris Games open, the Olympic flame will be lit in ancient Olympia today, and that's for a torch relay stretching from the Acropolis to French Polynesia. Also for the first time since events for the 2020 Olympic in Tokyo and 2022 Beijing Winter Games had to be toned down due to the COVID-19 pandemic, spectators will be able to attend the torch relay event. Well, some 600 dignitaries are expected at the ceremony today, headed by Greek President Katerina Sakellaropoulou and International Olympic Committee President Thomas Bach.